National Sports Commission has unveiled the Renewed Hope initiative for a national sports economy here in Nigeria. According to the commission, the strategy briefly revolves around the chairman of the commission, who says that definitely there will be some kind of a rejigging of the way the former sports ministry used to run and rehope of space.
Yes, of course. I think for me, Shehu Dikko is really on his toes, trying to make sure that, there is, proper development and growth, in sport. I think there's going to be, a different pattern for doing things this time around, taking a look at how he's been able to put things in place. He has really emphasized on, development of sports infrastructure in the country, and as well, the grassroots sport development as well, which is very, very key and very, very essential, for sport growth in any country. So I think for me, we take a look at his move from what he has been able to do, the strategy so far, the rejigging that he's been doing so far, especially to the different sporting federation we have in Nigeria. He also said that there will be, of course, a rejigging in the different sporting federation. The way things were done before is going to be different this time around. So I think from what we're seeing, in the next 2 years under Shehu Dikko, definitely, of course, will be reaping from sports, in the country, because he is really emphasizing on making sports a money-spinning venture. And I think that's also what the federal government, they are aiming at this point in time. Not just having sports, as a recreational activities. They should be able, of course, to make sure that sport also become a money-spinning venture in the country. We'll see other countries, of course, making money through sport. You go to England, football is the king, where, of course, the economy generates revenue, as a stand. You go to South Africa as well. So I think for me, it's then time Nigeria, as giant of Africa, we should also look at in the direction of making money, through sport. So for me, I think from what Shehu Dikko is doing, you take a look at the direction of the direction he's towing at this point in time, you definitely, of course, will know the head to say that probably in the coming years, sports will be a money-making venture in Nigeria.
In a bid to ensuring that sports is a money-making venture here in Nigeria, National Sports Commission is emphasizing on grassroots sports development. And talking about grassroots sports development, we are told that, from the local government levels, and there will be centers of excellence dovetailing to the state. And now, from the state level, it dovetails to the senatorial district, and before going to the national sector. You have to discover talents, and there has to be a structure of discovering talents. And the emphasis on, following the letters of the Decree 101 is, for me, it's very cheering. And you have to marry this vis-a-vis development of infrastructure that these athletes that are discovered at the grassroots level will use, from the local government level to the state, and from the state to the senatorial district, before going to, to the zone, and of course from the zone now to the federal level, where they will now be harnessed, for national, continental, and of course intercontinental competitions.
Yes, well, for me, I think it's the right step in the right direction. I think from what we got yesterday as well, is that, there are going to be, stadiums in the 6th geopolitical zone. I think that's what they are coming up at this point in time, to see how they can build stadiums in the 6th geopolitical zone. And I think for me, that will go a long way in terms of helping this athlete that they're going to discover through grassroots sport development, to have the best of facility, to train in the country. Just like you mentioned down there, there will be centers, primary schools, tertiary institutions, in these 6 geopolitical zones, where there will actually be a center where these athletes, of course, will be groomed at the end of the day. I think for me, that is, of course, the right step to follow when it comes to harnessing talents in the country. The infrastructure, of course, should be there, because at the end of the day, whereby you harness talent, you nurture them, and they don't have the right facility to train, it becomes a problem. And I think for me, that's what has brought a huge setback to sports down here in Nigeria, whereby athletes, of course, before you can actually come up to the limelight, you have to go outside the country, of course, to get yourself trained with the best of facilities. And at the end of the day, you come back to represent the country, just like what we've seen the likes of Favor Philly, Toby Amusan, and the rest of them. We do not have the necessary facilities down here in the country. And I think if that will be put in place, the athlete that will be groomed throughout this program, of course, will have the best of facilities to train, and that will help us, of course, to groom home-breed talent, not always depending on those who actually go abroad to get themselves trained and all of that. I think for me, it's actually a good idea at this point in time. If you take a look at the way other countries, they've gone about in developing sport. I think the other time Morocco had a 10-year football development plan, and today Morocco seems to be the hub of sport in Africa. They'll be hosting the African Cup of Nations, very soon, and they have actually done a lot what it has to do with sporting infrastructure, building stadiums, and making sure that, of course, they actually take a look at the age grade, football teams and group them properly. Now they are competing, not just the male football team, even the female football team as well. Even in athletics, Morocco are also venturing into that. So for me, I think it's a right step in that right direction, if you ask me, under Shehu Dikko, making sure that there's proper grassroots football development, or sport development, and as well as sporting infrastructure being put in place. I think for me, that's the right way to go. If we can actually towards this direction in the next 5 years, definitely Nigeria, of course, will be back when it has to do with sports in Africa.
Discovering talents, nurturing talents through with quality infrastructure and taking them for national and intercontinental actions will ensure the sports economy of Nigeria do grow. Let's see what Olakpade, the new Director General of the National Sports Commission, in conjunction with the Chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Dikko, will do, given that they are very experienced in sports here in Nigeria.